Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I honestly thought we were cooked in the United Kingdom because we have stupid things like Count Binface, but this has topped it for me. I mean, you guys in the United States, I've traveled there heavily over the past couple of years, and it's a great place to be. And this is why I love America. The fact that this isn't generated by AI, this is genuinely a guy that is dressed up as Darth Vader to show his support for flock cameras in the United States. And it is just drop dead hilarious. Absolutely got me tickled here this afternoon. The fear and greed index, guys, is pushing hard. There's a lot of people out there that are, oh my God, we made this tax change and now LUNC's pumping. This is great news, you guys. It shows that it is very supportive of the tax. And I think that is a load of crockery. I think it is a load of nonsense. So let's go through it from the top. The entire market is moving right now. Just last week, we were in the worst bear market that we've ever seen, and we've now got a new narrative, and that narrative is AI and regulation and POTUS and the White House now being very supportive, and us seeing productive meetings being held on crypto, and regulations coming thick and it's coming fast. So even if the Clarity Act doesn't pass, the CFTC Commission is going to begin regulating crypto in their own way. So regardless of how all of this pans out, the mainstream media has lost their prize child, if you will, the ability to really control the masses with this Clarity Act's going to pass, then it's not going to pass, it's going to pass, then it's not going to pass. Right now, this entire market is moving, and no matter where you threw a dart on the board at the beginning of the week, you are making a small amount of gains, if not a very large amount of gains. Again, it doesn't matter where you threw a dart on the board. If you were invested in something, it is now in the green. It's now going upwards. And this means because BTC is now driving the market, it's pumping up, it's pushed above that resistance line, it has broken out of that uptrend, and we are now looking at a new pattern. Bitcoin dominance is absolutely wiling out at around 60.36%. We're going to get our next candle in around 8 hours, and I believe this dominance is only going to continue rising. And as you can see, you've got kind of a little top here, and if we punch through this on the Bitcoin dominance scale, it is going to be an extraordinary weekend for all of us going into next week. So now we understand that this entire market is moving. We can now understand why LUNC is moving itself. And honestly, from my perspective, we could have been moving even heavier. We could be moving insanely right now. And this is essentially what we've been waiting for, but that tax change ruined everything. The system itself was in a really, really good. Just can't praise the system before that tax change enough. Everything was running as it should be. You could do the ins, the outs, the if, the buts, and the coconuts. And, it was a very simple technology. And someone comes in and raises taxes by 3x, and it makes the chain untradeable. So although we're rising at the moment, although this market is blessing us with some very nice green candles, we are not moving like some coins. I mean, Ponky's up 41.12%, pumped up funds already run by around 3x its original value, and we are here lingering down below this resistance line. We are sitting on this trend line, which we've been walking along for a significant amount of time, and again, we should be way up here. We should be pushing again, performing the final part of this Elliott wave. And I don't care what the masses say. I have my own perspective and opinion on this. I have projects that are substantially invested in this blockchain, and that is really where the effect comes. If it affects me like that, then it's going to affect a lot of other projects, and it's just something that it's happened, and I've dealt with it, and I've dealt with it in the way any company would deal with that kind of thing. So again, I would say to everybody, we should be above this trend line. We shouldn't just be teeter-tottering around in here anymore. We should be pushing way above. Okay, now something that you should pay attention to here with this pump that we're seeing, we've got 3 green candles that have come in, and I've zoomed in the MACD indicator and the RSI here. And what we're going to be focusing on is the RSI. We have not had a symmetrical move upwards from this indicator, instead seeing the RSI actually pinging all the way up to around 69, going towards around 75. And as you can see on the chart, this is quite high. And this means that we're probably going to see the price fall very soon. And for those of you who are really looking for a very basic description of the RSI, just go to Google, put in RSI meaning, and you're going to get a very simple explanation. A score above 70 means that the asset is overbought, the price might fall, and a score below 30 means an asset is oversold and the price might rise. These are only indicators, but you can clearly see that this isn't normal. What we've just seen happen on our indicator on the Terra Luna Classic chart isn't normal. We shouldn't be doing this. And what it tells you is the traders have already come and the traders have already made their profit. And it now looks like it is overbought. And we're going to see the price fall here, which means we are going to conform to that awful trend line that we've been treading on instead of getting that really big move up into that Elliott wave. I just hope somebody, reverses it. If it comes from me, it's going to look like sabotage and they're all going to vote against it. And it's better for me to just keep my mouth shut at this moment in time. But I don't know how you guys are feeling, but this is a clear indication of what is going wrong behind the scenes. Thank the heavens that no cap was ever put on the community pool. And there are so many things that people have not taken into account. And the fact that this is crypto, the fact that, and it's this simple, the price of a coin fluctuates so heavily that this time next week, this market could completely reverse and we could be back into the worst bear market ever, expecting to go even lower than we've already been. And we've just introduced a cap on the pools. If you're going to introduce some kind of cap, tie it to dollar value at least and ensure that there's always X amount of dollar value and you've got some kind of smart algorithmic system that is accounting for that. You can't simply come in and cap something that has a price that fluctuates insanely. We're talking by hundreds of percent. We could lose 99% of our value overnight. It's that simple. And then these reserve caps mean nothing. We've just put ourselves in a position where we've essentially gone bankrupt. If that community pool runs out of money, the chain, it can't pay for anything. It can't even pay for an upgrade. It can't even pay for a couple of developers to come in and possibly solve a bug. And yeah, we're going to encounter more bugs. The more times people make changes to this blockchain, the more times that the code base gets affected, the more times that projects overall are getting affected. I say this wholeheartedly. This blockchain didn't need to be changed. We had that proof in the price. Leading up to that original pump, we had made so many changes. We had solved the tax system, we had solved tax to gas, and we had made so many upgrades. And we finally had seen some kind of reward for all of our patience and all of our work come in the form of that first pump. And I thought to myself, this is absolutely great. If we can just stay the same, do very little, and really market the chain, work on gaining more followers, more people to come over to Terra Luna Classic to use the technology that we've perfected. And again, we had the consolidation, we had that make or break moment, and we pushed up again. And that tells me for a second time that everything that we had done leading up to this, everything was perfect. This is exactly what we needed to do. And this area showed us that, well, actually, we didn't need to make any changes whatsoever. But there's those people who simply believe that staying relevant and staying in the limelight and making consistent changes, whether those changes be good or bad or whatever, they're going to do it. They can simply not sit there and do nothing. They are unable to market the blockchain. They're unable to simply focus on the idea that the chain is okay. We have saved this chain from what was a confirmed death. We have corrected all of the technology. We have apps, we have supporters, we've got tools. We are moving out into the broader cosmos. Why do we need to keep making changes if the chain is perfect? Isn't that the absolute opposite of what we're trying to achieve? There's nothing I hate more than having a mobile device, being part of Android or being part of Apple, and then suddenly they make changes when they didn't need to make changes. I was used to it, and it's like looking at Windows 10 and end, and then being forced into Windows 11, which is absolute crockery. It's terrible, and it pushed me over to becoming an Apple user. If we continue making these stupid changes and introducing stupid caps in an environment where prices fluctuate heavily and there is absolute zero research behind any of these changes, I do not expect us to see big pumps like we've seen previously. How can we expect it if we keep changing a chain that we've already perfected? I find it hilarious, like I really do, and there's so many people out there that are, oh, oh, I can't believe that we're not going to put caps in. It's the end of the world. And oh my God, how the Oracle rewards pool get refilled? The Oracle rewards pool does not need to be refilled until we have solved the centralized voting power that Dutch LUNC and all nodes hold. And then after we've solved that, we need to ensure that we introduce some kind of rules and regulations that prevents anybody from getting above 4% voting power ever again. And then you could think about replenishing the Oracle rewards pool, because any replenishment that is going to be made is basically going to be going to two validators. They together hold the voting power of around half of the actual active set. If you go and look at Luna V2, it's not like that on there. They don't run that way. Validators don't have centralized voting power, and we are unable to actually look at the actual problems on this actual blockchain and actually say to ourselves, that is the actual problem. All of these other changes is nonsense, is crockery, and it doesn't even need to be thought about. What we need to think about is the centralized voting. Why would you refill somebody's wallet when you're only getting 5% of that overall wallet's balance, and the other guy is getting, the remainder, and he's putting in very little work, and you're getting up every day doing all of the work, doing your absolute best for someone else to get all of the money? Do you then go and refill that wallet for that to happen again? Or do you say to that person, we need some kind of rules and regulations to ensure that you're not getting all of the money from this wallet? And that is the exact same situation that we have gone through over the course of the past 4 years. And as I've said, leading up to this Elliott wave, every change had perfected the chain more than it had already been perfected. For all intent and purposes, before the blockchain crashed, it was perfect. And it was only that we had to incorporate for the balances and the huge drastic change in the overall active supply of the coin. We had to mend this blockchain, and we've mended it. So I say it again now at the end of the video, we don't need to make any more changes. We need to focus on marketing the actual blockchain. And if you want to focus on something, if you want to do something that's actually beneficial for this blockchain, right, go and solve the centralized voting power, address the all node situation, address the Dutch LUNC situation, and look at that issue surrounding the distribution in the Oracle rewards pool. Because again, you've got validators like Jesus is Lord who are calling out validators like myself, and they're running two validators, which is against the rules. Well, the unwritten rules, let's say. You do not double node, you do not network node, but he does it. Yet he's out there calling people out for something he's actually doing himself. And that's where the bite and the crunch comes in. That's where people on X, compared to people on YouTube, you guys are well informed. You've got the patience, you've got the time to go in and listen to this kind of content. And I praise you, because again, you know the ins, the outs, the ifs, the buts, and the coconuts. I'll keep you guys up to date. If you haven't been looking at my other content, I highly recommend it. You've just missed a 3x that I've made on pump.fun. It's been an insane ride, and Ponky's moving, and I think this is a trader's market right now, but I'm going to be making a sell very soon, and I'm keeping you guys 100% up to date with my meme coin portfolio on MEXC as well, so you can kind of copy trade me if that's what you're into. None of this is financial advice, all for educational purposes only. But look, take in what I said, go out, tell other people, show them this video, show them the truth of the matter, what actually needs to be fixed versus what doesn't need to be fixed and what doesn't need to be changed. If we're going to do anything, we need to market the already existing perfected technology. We need to get people to come and build. And I can't exactly myself go out to a project and say, hey man, move all of your projects over to Terra Luna Classic. It's great. The technology is amazing. You can integrate very easily, but there's a kicker. There is a huge tax. There's a 1.5% tax on every transaction that you're going to make. they're out, they're gone, they're done. And that is something we should all think about. Making changes on Terra Luna Classic isn't about getting the utmost out of a situation. A 1.5% tax may get us towards a bigger burning goal in the future, but what effect does that have on the projects, on the people that trade on the blockchain? What we need to work towards if we are going to make such changes like this is focus on an equilibrium. We could not simply tax our way out of the situation by putting that tax on the people that have turned up to really support the blockchain, that have brought it to the place that it's already at. Equilibrium is very important. Stay safe, stay humble. Have a great weekend, you guys. Really happy to be back creating content. It is nice, but this is a hobby for me going forward. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.